Now at 9, Joplin community members rally together for LGBTQ+ rights. Plus, local artists and coffee lovers relax and paint at Root Coffee House. Have the opportunity to show off their skills ahead of the season.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Cale Chapman. Some Joplin community members are gathering to take a stand. KOAM's Carrie Worthen was there and has more on this story.
So we're basically here to show our community that these people exist and they're members of our community, and we're here to stand for them.
Members of the Joplin community are protesting against anti-LGBTQ policies that legislative are trying to put in place.
Honestly, the people that drive by, that see us, I just want them to know that we are part of the community and we aren't going away. So, you know, you're either with us or you're against us.
One rally member says the easiest thing to do is love.
I'm a trans man, and you know, it's disheartening whenever people argue with somebody's right to exist, whenever people argue over who we love, you know, and it shouldn't be an issue, because to me the easiest thing to do is love somebody else.
So we're going to be sending a letter to our representatives in the Missouri State Congress to kind of show them that there are members here in this community that want to take a stand against these anti-LGBTQ laws that they've introduced, and just to kind of show the community that, like, you know, we're here and there's nothing wrong with people like this.
And I guess that's why I'm here, because I deserve to exist. I deserve to be who I am. People deserve to express how they want to express, as long as it's appropriate. And I don't see anybody being inappropriate, you know.
Just know that they have a community here in this area that they can turn to and they can rely on, and they have a safe space with us.
In Joplin, Carrie Worthen, KOAM News.
Participants had a barcode there for people to sign and electronically sign their letter. Coffee and paint lovers today gathered at Root Coffee House. Creative Canvas hosted a paint and sip event. The event gave artists the opportunity to paint in the aroma of coffee with a cozy atmosphere. The local artists were provided with supplies and step-by-step instruction with an experienced painter.
Take where they currently are and hopefully teach them something new. It lets people come out into the community and local businesses to support the local business at the same time as painting. I think the last couple of years we've been pretty nervous and staying in on our own, so that's just a really nice way for people to be able to come together and hang out for a little while and get their creative juices flowing.
The event was $30 per painter and lasted 3 hours. Today at Carl Richards 4th Street Bowl, women from around the 4 states competed in the 17th annual MOUSBC Women's Tournament. Nearly 300 teams competed in this year's tournament. 4th Street Bowl also hosted the doubles and single competitions this year.
I found my soon-to-be husband through this sport, so it's pretty incredible the amount of friends that I've made, the love that I found, and just the overall relationships that I have internationally, locally. Just, I think it's so cool to have friends who like to come out and just have fun on the lanes with me.
Today was the final day of tournament play. J.L. Hutchison Baseball League hosted a skills day today for players at Pittsburgh Middle School. The event was a way for players to show off their skills before the start of the season. All of the participants had to register and show up to the event with their own equipment.
They all come back and want to play next year. The best thing that I can hear out in our community is when people see me or some of the other coaches is when they say, you know, little Jimmy had so much fun last year, he cannot wait to play baseball the next year. And that's what we try to do with all of our coaches, and we try to get that into all of the kids, that they're just having so much fun.
The opening day for Little Leaguers is on April 29th. Deadly tornadoes causing extensive damage in Arkansas, where at least 5 deaths have been reported. Stunning images show dozens of homes devastated. Fox Weather multimedia journalist Will Nunley is in Wynne with more.
Among the many buildings, the homes destroyed here in the heart of Wynne is this, the First United Methodist Church. There was nobody inside, we're told, as the tornado rolled through, but the damage to this structure is significant. This was a church that was built in the 60s, the pastor tells me. Very well built building. All of the windows blown out. You can see that X there, that spray painted X. That's where emergency officials came through to make sure that nobody was inside. But there's plenty of damage, even though the walls are still standing. You have hallways here that have been flooded, not only from rain that was coming in from damage from the roof, but also burst pipes within the building. So you can see how most of this is going to end up being just a total loss for this church. Inside, look at the violence that was on display. See all this glass? Can you imagine being, even if you were sheltered in a room like this, the glass that comes flying around in situations like this from that vortex just spinning around you? Wow, incredible. I spoke with the pastor. He says he's thankful that most of his congregation is okay, and right now, that's what they're focused on.
So our church was right in the middle of the storm. It took a direct hit, and it tore the steeple off in the front porch area. Columns are gone. We don't know where the columns are. We haven't found them in town yet. We've got some pictures that have been found as far away as Humboldt, Tennessee, coming to us on Facebook. But it looks like all of our buildings are probably going to be a total loss just because of the way that the structures were hit.
And even though it appears that this building is still standing and fared pretty well, keep in mind there is considerable structural damage to the brick outside. The columns are missing. In most places, the roof is missing. The steeple is missing, and the homes around it reduced to their foundations. The pastor says with Palm Sunday being upon the congregation, they're trying to decide if they meet on the front lawn or if they go to a nearby church. In Wynne, Arkansas, Will Nunley, Fox Weather.
Coming up, several people are dead from a shooting in an Oklahoma City bar. We'll have the details. 3 people were killed and 3 others were injured and taken to the hospital after a shooting at a southwest Oklahoma City bar. Oklahoma City police said 3 people were killed on scene off Newcastle Road. Another victim was transported to a hospital in critical condition, with 2 others being taken in for non-life-threatening injuries. After originally reporting a person in custody, Oklahoma City police now say that no one is in custody and authorities are searching for a suspect. Schools in New York State were subjected to numerous hoax phone calls on Thursday. Multiple law enforcement agencies say they had multiple calls about active shooters, but no confirmed incidents. The hoax is known as swatting. Several schools in that region were on lockdown or lockout Thursday morning. Authorities still handled the calls as if they were real, investigating each individually. In the wake of last week's deadly school shooting at a Nashville elementary school, lawmakers in Tennessee say they're taking action to put an end to violence in schools. In a recent interview, the governor says he wants to place armed school resource officers at every school in the state. The governor's proposal comes as 9-year-old Will Kinney is laid to rest today. Kinney and 5 others, including 2 other children, were killed after a 28-year-old gunman armed with multiple weapons shot their way into a Covenant school and opened fire on them. Sam is next with a complete look at the forecast. And later, Missouri Southern softball takes on Fort Hays State. Brock Baldridge has more scores from sports.
Well, we have had a beautiful weekend across the area, including Palm Sunday with lots of sunshine, just a few clouds, and very warm temperatures. Let's take a look at the Indigo Sky Casino and Resort Cam. As we go through the day, you can see the time lapse. Mostly fair skies all afternoon long, just a few clouds developing around midday, and then those cumulus clouds went away. And then as we headed towards the evening hours, more clouds coming up from the south and the west with some showers down in the southern parts of Arkansas and Oklahoma. So a pretty nice night shaping up out there. However, the allergies are still bad. 11.1 today, and tomorrow it's going to even be worse if that's possible. 11.5 on a scale of 12, and most of that is maple, juniper, and elm trees. Radar in our area right now is clear, but that is not the case a little bit further to the south in western Arkansas and southeastern Oklahoma. You can see some pretty heavy rains down in that area. This is all part of a complex that's moving across northern Texas, producing quite a bit of severe weather in that area today. But here, we're sitting pretty nice. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s with southerly winds right now, 70 in Oswego, 71 for for our friends over there in Welch. Now, tomorrow, there is a risk of severe weather starting to develop again across the region. Marginal risk, mainly across northern Missouri and also southeastern Oklahoma and northern Texas. Here in our area, we may see an isolated scattered storm or two, but not really expecting a lot in the way of severe weather. But on Tuesday, different story. We are expecting a pretty good risk of severe weather across our region, with the risk of tornadoes, large hail, high winds, and heavy rain remaining primarily on the low side. But this could change. Right now, the best chance of severe weather is going to be up towards the north and also down to the south. We may squeeze through the needle and miss out on most of the really nasty stuff, but we're going to keep an eye on this very, very closely, so you need to stay tuned and be sure to download the app to stay up to date. All right, here's a look at the map for tomorrow and Monday. You can see the dry line out to the west, and as it advances to the east, we may see an isolated storm or two develop ahead of the dry line, and it may be severe. But then the dry line retreats back to the west and then finally pushes out into our region on Tuesday. Notice the winds at the surface are going to be out of the south on Tuesday, and then behind the dry line, winds out of the south and west. And then when you throw the upper level winds on top of that, you kind of get the idea that as you go up through the atmosphere, the wind changes direction and speed. And any thunderstorm that develops in that kind of environment wants to rotate. And that's why we're concerned about the threat of severe weather and tornadoes. But over the next 36 hours, rain chances are going to be primarily low, and we're not expecting a whole lot of precipitation. Maybe a sprinkle or two up towards the north tomorrow. And then as we go through Tuesday night and Wednesday, that's when we expect the round of thunderstorms to move through our area. So lows tonight are going to be pretty much in the mid-50s with southeasterly winds. Tomorrow, an isolated storm possible, highs in the upper 70s to around 80. Then as we go through Tuesday morning, showers possible, lows in the 60s. Tuesday afternoon, strong storms are possible with highs in the upper 70s to around 80. And then here comes the line of storms from the north and west Tuesday night into Wednesday, and by Wednesday morning, lows in the 40s. And over the next 7 days, 60% chance of storms on Tuesday. Again, some of those could be strong or severe. And then cooler Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. But next weekend, including Resurrection Sunday, looking pretty good with highs in the mid-60s.
Well, there you go. Yeah, and that Skywatch weather app going to be important this week.
It's going to be very important, especially for Tuesday.
For sure. All righty. Well, thank you, Sam.
You're welcome.
And don't forget, you can be the first to know about the day's weather from that KOAM Skywatch weather app. You can get severe weather updates sent straight to your phone free of charge. It's available in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Again, that's the KOAM Skywatch weather app. Coming up, the Pitt State Gorillas are able to bounce back on the road this weekend. Plus, the St. Louis Cardinals had a big day. We'll go over the details next on Sports.
Well, the Pitt State Gorillas have been red hot this season, but they've been struggling this past week. They had a chance to bounce back in their series finale against Central Oklahoma. Earlier this afternoon, Pitt State did just that. The Gorillas win the series over the Broncos by winning today's game 9-5. Cade Clemens was in the spotlight by going 2 for 4. Both of his hits were home runs. He also had 4 RBIs in this game. Gorillas currently sit in third place in the MIAA standings after their win today. Pitt State will be on the road once again next week for some non-conference action when they face Drury this Tuesday. And the Missouri Southern Lions have been on an 8-game winning streak, but today that streak has snapped. After winning the first 2 games of the series, they failed to win their series finale against Fort Hays State, losing today's game 7-4. However, Tyler Ferguson had a nice day, going 3 for 4 with a home run and 3 RBIs. The Lions will be in Kansas City this Tuesday at a neutral site where they'll take on Missouri Western, the MLB Youth Urban Academy. Well, the St. Louis Cardinals won their first game of the season yesterday against the Toronto Blue Jays. The opening weekend series between these two teams has been very high scoring and entertaining. That was the case again today in the series finale. Beautiful Sunday afternoon at Busch Stadium. First pitch in the first inning. Brendan Donovan said, "Let's not waste any time. We're getting the party started." Leadoff homer into the bullpen. 1-0 Redbirds. Next at bat, Alec Burleson says, "It's my turn." Just barely clears the wall out there in left field, but still counts. Make it 2-0 St. Louis. Later in the inning, same score. Nolan Gorman at the plate, and folks, that's what happens when you hang breaking balls. Ends up 15 rows deep, as we see just there. It's now 4-0 Cardinals in the first inning. Third inning now. St. Louis up 5-3. Nolan Gorman says he wants to take Chris Bassett deep a second time. The second home run of the game. That's a 2-run bomb. Cardinals take care of business, winning 9-4. St. Louis wins the series over Toronto. Let's take a look in Kansas City as the Royals are trying to avoid the sweep. First inning, 1-0 Twins. Edward Olivares crushes that ball. First run of the year for the Royals in their 2023 season, game tied at 1. Sixth inning, Twins up 2-1. Joey Gallo usually has trouble beating the shift, but that's one way to beat it. That ball's long gone. 3-1 Twins. Seventh inning now, same score. Gallo again for his second home run. And that's headed to Souvenir City. 3-run jack makes it 6-1 Twins. Eighth inning, 6-3. Larnick drives it off Jose Cuas. Carlos Correa will score easily. Twins win 7-4, complete the sweep of the Royals. The NCAA tournament is wrapping up after a great Final Four weekend. Tomorrow, the championship game between San Diego State and UConn, just like we all predicted. San Diego State's looking for their first national championship game win ever, while UConn, the Huskies, are trying to look for their third national championship with their third different head coach. It's the first time ever a championship game between a 4 and a 5 seed. Both coaches are looking forward to this opportunity.
We're just proud to be moving on, representing San Diego State University in the city of San Diego in the championship game on Monday night. We're looking forward to it.
At this point, so it's exciting to share the court with a team that we mirror each other. I think in a lot of ways.
Well, the Missouri Southern Lions still holding on to first place in the MIAA. Pitt State still tracking back, so expect both teams to finish well to end the season.
Well, good. Yeah, I mean, that's exciting. We always love to watch that MIAA down here.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All righty. Well, thank you, Brock. We'll be right back after this. Ross Gross, a retired Rhode Island firefighter, riding on the train he built 3 years ago on his family property. Gross says it took him almost a year to finish the 18-cart train. He now gives rides to anyone who wants to take a half-mile journey through nature. He hosts different holiday-themed events throughout the year, and he says the train is a love project. He wants everyone, adults and children, to come and enjoy it.
Nice.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
We have some nice weather if you like storms, and pretty big storms on Tuesday. So please be careful and be paying attention to the weather on Tuesday evening especially, but then nice weather after that all the way until next weekend, including Resurrection Sunday. So not a bad forecast. We're kind of going to go into a dry pattern for a while, but it's very important that everyone be paying attention to the weather on Tuesday.
Yeah, certainly no train rides then.
No train rides, that's right.
All righty, well, thank you, Sam. That's our time for tonight. Thank you for joining us. We'll leave you with a video of meerkats at the London Zoo enjoying Easter treats. We'll see you back here next time. Thanks for making us a part of your night.